Hi everyone, I'm Shumei and today I'm going to review this short film 2 plus 2 equals 5. And firstly, I'm going to talk about the exposition. And I think the exposition is really important for any short film because I think it is a part of story. It gives audience some important information like the backstory and the setting and the characters in the short films. And in 2 plus 2 equals 5, the setting I think is the story is happened in about uh, 20, 1970s or 1980s, because you can see the wall of this classroom is really old, and there's a map on the wall, and you can't see any modern equipment in the classroom like projector and computer. And the characters I think is the protagonist is the student, is a little boy student, and the supporter character is the teacher. And about the rising action, I think the first rising action is when the class started and the teacher walks in the classroom, and he said that 2 plus 2 equals 5, and at this time some students reject him, but the teacher directly denied the student and warned them not to ask any questions, and 2 plus 2 equals 5. And the second rising action is the protagonist is the little boy student. He stands up and he against the teacher that 2 plus 2 equals 4 is not 5. And the third rising action is the teacher brings three top students in the classroom, and he asks them what is the number of the 2 plus 2, and the top student say the 5. So, and the last rising action is when teacher brings the protagonist a white chalk and let them to write down the correct answer of 2 plus 2. This rising action makes the story get to the climax step by step. And I think the climax is when the moment when the protagonist writes down the number 4 on the blackboard, and he keep his answer and he didn't change it. This is the climax. And after the climax is the falling action, and the falling action has a series of action like the three top students, they shot the protagonist, and they clean up the body, and the teacher erased the blood on the blackboard. So, and last, the teacher resumed the question that the 2 plus 2 equals 5. And after that is the resolution. I think the resolution of this short film is when the student write down 2 plus 2 equals 5, and he erases the 5 and he writes down the 4. This is the resolution, and it is also the end of the short film. And next, I'm going to talk about the character analysis, about the emotion. So the first moment is when the teacher repeat his question 2 plus 2 equals 5 to all the students. He feels proud and violence because his need of power and control and dominance has been met. And the second moment is when the student standing, the protagonist, he's standing in front of the blackboard, and the three top students is aiming at him. So at that time he feels insecure, dread, and resolved because he needs integrity and physical safety, and he wants to make sense of life. And the third moment is when the protagonist died. He was shot, and at that time in his classroom, the students, they feel horrified, they feel startled, they feel afraid, they are fearful and terrified, and they feel hopeless because they are in need of physical safety. They need of safe in a peace of mind, and they need pleasure. They need dignity hasn't been met, and the last moment of this film is when the the student he writes down the 2 plus 2 equals 5 and he erases the 5, he writes down the 4. At that time he feels lonely, hopeless, and terrified. He's scared, but personally I think he probably feel uh, inspired because he knew the truth, but he keep in mind for his safety. And at that time he needs physical safety, and he need dignity, and he need to be known, to be understand. He needs the peace of mind and protection. And for the symbolization, I think when the teacher erases the blood on the blackboard, it symbolizes the protagonist. His sacrifice is useless, his wasted sacrifice, and his incidence of the truth is useless. And when the teacher's identity symbolize the fascist or the cruel dictatorship, and the student's white shirt symbolize purity and symbolize innocence and of the vast majority of victims. And the last on the last minute of the short film, the student writes down the 2 plus 2 equals 5 and he erases the 5 and write down the 4. This action has a meaning, and it symbolizes that the meaning of the truth is always the truth and no one can change it. Although someone doesn't speak it out, he just keep it in mind and he doesn't say it. And about the meaning and theme, I think the theme is about the cruel of dictatorship and the power ruler, and the struggle of people and the fighting of people under such cruel ruler. And I think the meaning, this short film is really profound, and everyone watch it has its own perspective of the short film. And as for me, when I first watch it, I think it's express the anger of dictatorship and some such cruel ruler and powerful ruler, and it was so mean, and people struggled of this, their sacrifice themselves, but it's useless. And and when I watch it again, I had some other ideas about the meaning. I think it's probably about truth, and there are some types of people in the world. Some people explore the truth, like the protagonist in the short film. He writes down 2 plus 2 equals 4, but he sacrificed himself. But in the film, it seems to be useless, but I think it's useful because in the classroom, everyone will remember his action and they will never forget it. And the boy in the last, he write down the 2 plus 2 equals 4. He remembered it and he didn't speak it loud. He knew the truth and he will keep it in mind for safety. So I think this story is probably about the meaning that the truth is always the truth. Although the the real life is really terrible, it's really horrible, it's really cool, but the truth always in people's mind, and we we will never forget it. Thank you.